How you doing, guys? I hope you're having a great day. Okay, so with Wednesday, June the 9th, yes, at 3 p.m. is the start of the reveal for the next generation of Battlefield. So guys, let's go over everything Battlefield, the operator classes, the maps, the game modes, and let's get you up to speed on everything that we've got in store for you in the next year. It's absolutely amazing, guys, so make sure you be giving it a thumbs up. With that being said, let's get into the Battlefield classes, squads, maps, and game modes that we've got ahead for the future. So there's been a massive leak on Reddit from a well-known game tester, and this game testers give us so much information, and it seems like AI is definitely a part of the future of Battlefield. Is this character? There's been a lot said about that, but what I can say is there's actually been hints from DICE that we're actually looking at an AI system in the game, not just against us, but an AI character playing with us. And as you can see, this actually ties in with Aliens and the Predator type storyline that we've seen in the movies, guys, because as you know, that character looks like the character in the Predator storyline. And this, of course, looks like the actual vault that opens where a Predator comes from, where they go to another planet. If you know the film, let me know in the comments. If you don't worry about it, guys. Just remember, we told you here first, AI is a huge part of Battlefield. Okay, guys, so the Battlefield 6 dump, it was saying that basically attachment systems. Now the attachment systems basically says that you can hold and have two attachments on your character that you can swap out on the fly. Now this is amazing, guys, and what it basically says is that if you have a crisp vector basically on your gun and you want to add a vertical grip, you could take it off. Let's say you got a red dot and an ACOG and you're not feeling the ACOG at certain situations because you're going too close, then you can just put the red dot on the fly. Now this is something amazing, and it really will benefit a lot of players out there. We know that, and so this has been implemented to help a lot of players. It will even help players like us, guys, because basically there's nothing worse than being in a game, you've got the wrong loadout, you're on a close range fight or you're on a long range fight, and you just happen to have the opposite scope and things like that. For instance, if you're running a suppressor because you want to stay stealth on the map, and then you realize that you're just not downing players because it's just not got that power as hardcore, because we know hardcore was removed previously. So let's say that, for instance, and you want a suppressor removed, you've got to die and lose a life. You can either commit it and take a life, or you just got to die willingly, and that is really frustrating. So we've implemented a new change on the fly system, and we think that is really something that's going to be sought after and something well used. I definitely think it's absolutely an amazing feature. So basically, these two attachments you can just add and change on the fly, whichever attachments you prefer. So it makes it easier for close and far range. For instance, suppressor, compensators, chokes, and various items can be just stuck on the fly. Now next up, on the squads and the hero mechanic from Battlefront 2, guys. So these were called professionals, and in 2042 this is what they're called. Now you can have a specialist or professional, let's say, per class in your squad. And they're not overpowered, but they have a gadget or two that will make it worth playing, and this makes them unique. For instance, the medical professional. Now we all know medics are awesome people. Their professionals have a healing dart. Now if you just think back to Bad Company 2, guys, for all you veterans out there, there was a dart that you put in the M1911, and that basically would shoot on, lock on a geosensor onto a helicopter, for instance, and then we'd use a soul flam and javelin. Now these things are all real life weapons. As you know, the Battlefield series is based upon real life equipment, and this real life equipment is absolutely an awesome sensory GPS geosensor, and the javelin obviously has an amazing lock-on system. And what you do is you take helicopters out. Well, imagine a medic, yes guys, a super medic, having this type of dart, and he can shoot you from across the field, and basically it's just like going to be a dart, a vial full of steroid type stuff that will really keep you going through the field through a big injury, and it will respawn your health and help you out. So that's going to be an amazing feature, and that's just looking at the medic feature. There's going to be other professionals that have their own features, but every squad basically has the ability to call down spawn vehicles as well, primarily jeeps, ATVs, that type of stuff. This is not something I liked, but you remember the commander slots previously? It really is something that can help, because we found the commander slots in the previous round of Battlefield 4 wasn't really utilized very well. It was underutilized. People would quit Commander, didn't know how to run Commander, even when they used the tablets, or whether they do it on a PlayStation or an Xbox. They just didn't really feel Commander went through, and we felt it wasn't something that was really utilized very well, and we felt it was implemented effectively, but it was difficult to get. So this removes that need, and it means that you can actually now spawn down the stuff just like a commander, but straight from the in-game and straight from the squad and the squad leader's abilities. Now later this fall, we know you're all looking forward to huge maps and game modes, and these are some of the biggest maps in the Battlefield history. We want you to think about Albos Mountains, for instance, one of the biggest, most expansive, most varied weather condition maps we've ever had implemented into a Battlefield series. An absolute amazing testament to game. And obviously, if you look back at Battlefield 3, Armored Kill, for instance, it's a huge, expansive environment for tank warfare, and it was just absolutely humongous. We are going bigger and better than them, so you can think of one of the biggest maps that we've ever known and the best maps. You will see a return. For instance, we've seen a Wake Island type map already. Firestorm, is it possible we'll see something like that? I'm sure it is. And for instance, where we've got the smoke here in the background on Firestorm, where we had the fires, we're going to look at tornadoes and twisters and the like in the future series are going to be really implemented. So you're going to see a complete weather changing system, and we're going to look at huge maps. Wake Island, I think, is a definite. Let me know if you've seen Wake Island in some of the clips that we've shown. With that being said, the maps and game mode information. So basically, we've gone over how big they are. Now you're going to have a playable map when early access drops. Now, these maps have sectors and they have points inside of them, guys. So how that works, basically, to capture a sector, you need to capture the points inside of it. And every sector's points can range from 3 to 4 points. Once you capture that sector, guys, think Conquest, you then owned it, but it cannot be taken back like Conquest. Now the purpose of this is to make sure that we don't have these ongoing Conquest-style type games that we've had in the previous seasons and implementations of the Battlefield series, where, as you know, the flags would get taken constantly. You'd be running backward and forward, everybody in the tanks and helicopters would be going to one map, they'd be going to the other, they get flanked, and it could just go on for such a long time and really drag out the games. And while it was fun for a lot of people, some people we found it frustrating. So now it's been implemented. Once you take a sector, you own that sector and it cannot be taken back. So it's a matter of taking the sectors and beating the enemy team to the sector. Now basically, one sector is the size of a Battlefield medium-sized map, basically what you've previously known. So these are huge areas. Now for instance, we've got a map called Shelf. This takes place on the Antarctica. Now you've seen Antarctica type maps before with the Battlefield 4 series, where we looked down at the Cold War and where we went into the Antarctica. So think like that, but then think Damavand Peak type map, and you're going to be close there to what you're actually going to be getting. We've also got a Damavand Peak type one as well from Battlefield 3, but it's much bigger with sectors on top of the map, and basically you could push a sector up and down and move backward and forward. Now that was available in Damavand Peak, but a lot of people didn't know that you could actually fight back up the mountain on Damavand Peak, but you needed to utilize the helicopters to do it, to bring it up. Now it's going to be a little bit easier, but think Damavand Peak but bigger. And as you all know, myself, I found Damavand Peak to be one of the best gaming levels implemented in any game ever because of the because of the vertical fighting. And that vertical fighting ability has never been implemented in a game so well as it has in Damavand Peak. And it's something that's been really hard testing on the hardware from consoles, and something that's really difficult to implement and to get a successful fighting arena. But it was really a good success in Damavand Peak, and we found that many game makers have never implemented anything close on a vertical scale of fighting. We're so used to seeing these horizontal scales where we fight what's in front of us, move forward, move backward, but Damavand Peak allowed it to go up and down, and it's really cool. Let me know in the comments if you're looking forward to some Damavand Peak type maps coming back, and if you like the idea of vertical fighting up and downward. Now when we look at these sectors, basically if you get this sector on this type of map, this type of cliff type map, basically once you get that sector, you get a lot of downtime to do whatever you want for a while, and you can capture the sector on top of the cliff, for instance, have a bit of downtime, and then capture the sector on the bottom of the cliff. Now the main goal in this new Battlefield series, aka Battlefield 2042, is to be squad based. As with all the Battlefield series that we've seen and that we've tested and put out, team based planning and squad playing is really a must in the game and arena. And we found there's a lot of solo with the new battle royale genre that's taken over in the last 3 to 4 years, and we feel a lot of team-based game is need to bring back some tight challenges, and some challenges that need a team to pull together and bring their specialisms to the field. So basically this squad based, you're going to have to pre-plan and execute the plans, not literally but within a group of friends, to rush and to take over areas. Now rush of course returns, and there's a heavy focus on team working and removing that ability to lone wolf. Although we do admire them snipers out there who like to work in a team, like to get a soul flam going, and basically to work in with the javelin engineers. That is appreciated. Now, basically, last but not least, guys, extra details. So these are not categorized in any category, guys. So basically, there's 2 trailers that have not been leaked so far, and you are going to see one of them trailers. The trailer is going to be very similar to what has leaked, so you're going to see a lot of the maps. You're going to see this Wake Island type map, and basically they're ready to go, and basically it's set 20 years after Battlefield 4, which is set around 2024. Now it's a 64 v 64 team mode. This has been seen and tested. Crossplay is not available at launch, and this is something I was disappointed with myself, because you know, guys, the Battlefield series in here, DICE team loves to always implement new technologies. Sometimes this can lead to performance issues. For instance, when we released Battlefield 4, we've seen huge performance issues, and this is because you break technology when you're at that limited technology. It can be, sometimes it can break, and that is because you're at the limit and you're testing new ground, and it takes time to just iron out the kinks. The beginning of the launch, crossplay will not be available, but it will be something that's coming. Now, it's been said that PS4, Xbox One can't handle it. It's not true, guys. Levolution returns, PS4 and Xbox One will do okay, and it's not that with the crossplay. It's just a matter of getting everything level, getting the launch going, and then putting it in at a later date. Now, Levolution, think more Battlefield Hardline, so rather than big Siege of Shanghai Towers. Tornadoes and Twisters, they're going to be available on every map, and basically the Tornadoes are going to be able to lift up vehicles, and the Twisters are just going to be a smaller type. Wingsuits are in the game. Now, this just makes it easier for parachuting and more controllable, gives you that bit more control. We've seen wingsuits previously. There's also a grappling hook, I believe. Now, I have not actually seen the grapple hook or tested it, guys, but basically I'm not a fan of something like this, because I think you can go to too much like Just Cause, and if it becomes something like that, it just becomes ridiculous. But basically, think something like Dying Light. Now, basically, a lot of people in testing have not enjoyed this. I would not enjoy it myself. You've also got zip lines that can shoot. For instance, think like Modern Warfare. It says not like in Hardline, but like Modern Warfare. Hardline zip lines were very difficult to use. Modern Warfare, they're a bit easier. And basically, you can shoot that from the top of a cliff, the bottom of a cliff. Think Damavan Peak. Think getting up faster without a helicopter, and you'll be right there, guys. I hope you've enjoyed them leaks, and really, this information is absolutely amazing. There's so much we know. Fall this year, you're going to enjoy the game. The game's going to be released, and basically this gives you an overview on the operators, how they work, the maps, the game modes, and basically some cool little features like that twin accessories where you can remove the accessories on the fly. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. You can give it a thumbs up if you've liked the video, got some new information, or just like listening to this type of content. Make sure you be giving it a thumbs up if you've not been here before. Of course, consider going on to subscribe to see more cool videos from the Battlefield series. With that being said, have a great day ahead, and I'll catch you in the next one.